think now is his time. We're going to see what he does tonight.
Crazy Horse Bennett stepping into the cage. He says, I got to win this fight, Jay. I'm piss poor and broke.
He's extremely animated, absolutely crazy athletic, and nothing can surprise you what he throws at his opponents. But with the experience of Harris Norwood, I mean, I love this matchup.
It's a real good matchup.
Ladies and gentlemen, this 7th bout of the night is sponsored by Elite Industrial Floors. It's in the 155-pound weight class. Fighting out of the blue corner, this man weighed in at 153 and 1/2 pounds. He fights out of Atlanta, Georgia. He is Harris Smallville Norwood. His opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 155 pounds. He fights out of Ocala, Florida. He is Charles Kid Khaos Bennett.
All right, round 1 underway, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Norwood in the turquoise trunks, Bennett in the white with black trim.
It's like the black belt shorts, Dean.
Is that what he's got on?
I don't know. I mean, that's
what it looks like from here.
Yeah, yeah.
And look for some crazy Muay Thai skills out of Harris Norwood.
He's a reigning Shidokan champion. He's a Muay Thai champion. Great leg kick right there. This is another one of those fights where the opponents together don't match up. With that reach and that position, he can really use that range to his effectiveness if it works out that way.
Yeah, he really likes to throw high kicks. He's in trouble now. I mean, he's just, you know, Kid Khaos isn't really known for his grappling ability, but he's been in the game long enough to pick up a lot of grappling. And Harris Norwood just really doesn't have that grappling prowess, so to say. So I think he's in a bit of trouble now.
And I've seen Charles Bennett in some really wicked positions and just get out of him. I mean, whether it's athleticism or technique, I mean, he may not be a wizard on the ground, but he seems to always find a way to make it work for him.
And this is kind of weird for me to see Kid Khaos be the one with the better ground game.
Right,
right. In a fight,
I totally understand what you're saying. And here you got Harris Norwood doing what you shouldn't do, and that's hugging him and holding him down because you're just helping gravity make the fighter on top be heavier.
Yeah, and again, that's just from not really having that grappling ability.
Harris lists his stand-up style as ooh, and his ground style as ouch. So I don't have a ton of details other than his Muay Thai background.
Yeah, this is definitely a different Charles Bennett we've seen in the past. I mean, you know, he's only thrown maybe 2 punches so far, and he's been very patient.
Yeah.
And looking in for position.
I really see a game plan at work with him and some strategy, and that is different. The composure is almost weird.
Yeah, almost. I don't know who I'm looking at.
But that's a good thing. We don't want people at home thinking that that's a bad thing. I mean, but like you were saying, him coming out, he's on a new path right now, and we're seeing it.
A very methodical approach from Kid Khaos. Just turned 30 years old. Maybe that has something to do with it. Out of his 20s now.
Well, that was actually one of the things he told me. I spoke with him a few days ago, and he told me that, you know, he said, you know what, Dean, I'm 30 years old now. I got to do some things different.
Stay relaxed, horse.
He's got all the tools. He always has had the tools.
He has to be careful, even though he's in the mounted position. Harris Norwood is throwing elbows from the bottom.
And they're connecting.
And they're connecting, and he's bony. He's got some sharp elbows.
Yeah.
He has to be careful not to get cut with one of them elbows.
And this is a guy that knows how to throw elbows the right way.
Absolutely. Loose, and he keeps them fast. I mean, you can see him actually popping his elbows out, so he's got to be careful with that.
Wow, look at that. Little hip escape to turn out, and the UPA worked for him for Norwood.
Harris Norwood at 34 years old has had many fights. Chose not to list his pro record, but he has plenty of high-profile fights under his belt. He will not be intimidated by, clearly is not intimidated by the name.
I may be wrong, Jay, but I think he told me that he was 18 and 15. It's in that ballpark at the least.
Sounds familiar.
Well over 30 professional fights, and wow, look at that.
He's got Bennett hurt.
Wow.
Bennett's hurt.
He was in trouble, Dean, and then he turned it around. Oh, shin to the forehead. That was a nice kick. He's got to be careful not to punch himself out.
Look at now, both of them are tired.
Yeah, I love these guys as people and as fighters, man. This is great.
What a great burst from Harris Norwood.
When was Bennett's last fight? Do you guys know? Because I wonder if conditioning might take a toll if he's been off for a little while.
His last fight was like maybe 2 months ago, but that can actually be worse for you because that just gives you just enough time to get out of shape and not get back in shape.
Right. Rather than give yourself enough time to have a training camp or to just stay busy.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, those are crazy kicks from Harris Norwood. There's that whistle is very confusing.
That whistle went, and Norwood stopped his motion and looked at the referee, and the referee said, keep going. He put his hands back up. Wow, that could have put